Hi, everybody. This is Julia with Chapter Mint. And I today, okay, so you have your emails come in one name, but I think you write with another name. So what should I call you?
You can call me Tylee or Abby, doesn't matter. Abby Woodland is my pen name. Tylee Ertl is my birth name. So
And then what's Ginger?
Ginger's actually my first name. I don't ever use it. My mom's also named Ginger, so we get
Oh,
confused
gotcha.
sometimes.
Okay.
So I always go by my middle name.
All right. So you are here today to talk to us about being in Kindle Unlimited versus going wide. And for those people who
Yes.
don't know, if you're in Kindle Unlimited, you cannot have your ebooks on any other service. If you do, they will punish you. It will feel like, you know, it's horrible. I've never had it happen to me, but I've seen it happen to other people. You don't ever want that to happen. And so you were in Kindle Unlimited when you first started, and then you went wide. So I guess my question is, how long were you in Kindle Unlimited, and what originally made you start there and then decide to change?
So I was there just for a couple of months, actually.
Mhm.
This was right around the time Vella was big. I thought, oh, I'll do both Kindle Vella and Kindle Unlimited.
Right. And so
Yeah.
is Kindle Vella still around?
No, they have completely dismantled the entire program.
And so tell
So,
people what that is real quick.
so Kindle Vella was serialized stories. Basically, authors would release a chapter at a time, sort
Mhm.
of like what people do with fan fiction,
Right.
and you would use what they called tokens to purchase the ability to read
Right.
those chapters. Which generally speaking is good, but it also made the books cost a lot more
Oh,
with very little return for authors.
right.
Um, and I know a lot of authors will say, oh, but I got this much money from it.
Mhm.
And it's like, yes, you got a larger check at the end of things, but those were not consistent with your sales. Those
Right.
didn't count free chapters or anything like that. And
Right.
so in the end, I feel like all of those readers who could have purchased the book outright
Mhm.
and would have helped you have bigger sales than what you had, you kind of just missed out on a lot of stuff.
Right.
I'm very much into growing readership organically,
Mhm.
because I feel like that's the best way, especially if you're looking to make a profit
Mhm.
from your work. You want to actually have readers, real readers, not, yeah. So it was not that great, in
It
my
wasn't that
opinion.
good, but you had kind of was
Yeah,
like, "Let's try it."
well, and there was no set amount for people. They were very, very murky with how they told people, they would say, oh, we have $1 million pool to pull from, and we split it up between these people. People with more reads get more money.
Right.
Um, but they never really gave an actual percentage. They were never really forthcoming about it. And
Mhm.
so people couldn't really predict how much they were going to get,
Mhm.
which led to a lot of disappointed authors or people having issues like, hey, where's my money? When I had this many reads, I got nothing.
Right.
Um, and so it was a big pile of chaos. Um,
Right.
and so I was like, okay, so while that was still going on, I actually left Kindle Vella um, before it even dismantled. I kept telling people, if they're not going to be honest with us, then we need to look for backup ways to publish.
Right.
And ironically, a lot of people thought I was crazy. They're like, well, I'm
Mhm.
still making money here, so I'm going to stick around. It's like, okay, but you're going to be scrambling later.
Mhm.
So then I moved over to KU and I was like, okay, well, let's try Unlimited, see what happens here.
Right.
The biggest thing with KU is people can take your book for free.
Mhm.
However, you only get paid for the pages they read.
Mhm.
So they're paying this monthly subscription to Amazon. Amazon gets the money no matter what.
Right.
Your book, however, it could be sitting on somebody's bookshelf in their Kindle for,
Forever.
3 months,
That's
4 months, or
yeah.
whatever. However long they want to, they don't even have to read it,
Right.
and you will not be making money. It'll
Mhm.
just be sitting there. A lot of people complain about returns
Mhm.
or other things like that. Like my book got returned and I didn't have any pages read this month, and I feel like paying per page is it's basically Vella all over again.
Uh-huh.
You're paying per chapter, now you're paying per page. I feel like these systems aren't set up to make the author money, but to make Amazon more money.
Yes.
And yeah, and people keep trying to convince me to go back to KU, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again, because if I sell a book, that's it. Unless
Hmm.
they return my book within like 30 days per return policies for a lot of these places,
Hmm.
they own my book. I
Right.
get that money no matter how much they paid for it. So if I sell my book for 99 cents, yeah, I'm probably only going to get about a quarter, but I get to keep that quarter. I get to
Right.
keep that little bit of money. They can't change that. And I would much rather have guaranteed payment when I get my book sold or downloaded somewhere
Right.
than to have to sit here and be like, okay, is anyone going to read it and wait for 3 months to see if someone reads it? Like, no,
Right.
I get that money.
Okay. Okay. So that was what kind of originally made you decide, okay, I'm going to go wide. And so
Yes.
you how did you decide how to go wide, and what did you use to go wide? Like,
So,
did you? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, I use draft
I'm
to
in
digital.
KU, and I'm in this exact
Okay.
situation. Like, should I stay here, or should I?
I
But when I
love
think
going
about
wide.
uploading my book to 17 different outlets, I'm like, hell no.
Well, the best thing is draft to digital makes it super easy.
Hmm.
I am super obsessed with them. I feel like I mean, they have their pros and cons too. Customer service is slow because, they're a smaller company.
Hmm.
Um, but when you go to put your book wide, all you
Hmm.
do is click and check all the boxes of where you want your book to be. So if I want it at Coopla, if I want it on Smashwords, if I want it on Barnes& and Nobles,
I haven't
Amazon,
even heard half of those.
yeah, a lot of those are European.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, you have Libby, you have, what is it, bookstore.com or .org right now. They just added a new one.
on
Plus,
Libby.
yeah, Libby, or is it Libby? There's like a whole list on their website.
Okay.
Um, there's, but yeah, like Coopla, I think is one that I sell a lot on,
Hmm.
which is universal. It's European, so people can get on there. Um, there's just tons of stuff. Like, you can sell your books in Canada, you can sell them in Germany, Australia. You're not limited to one specific space.
And so who pay? So, okay, so do Draft to Digital distributes your books so that they buy your books through Draft to Digital pays you.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's kind of, the setup is each company has their own royalty
Right.
payout. So like if I were to sell to Amazon and my book was 17.99, which is what most of my larger books are,
Right.
then I would probably get like 2.43 per book sale.
This is print or ebook?
This is print.
Okay.
Yeah. So this would be print numbers, and it actually shows you how much your royalties are when you set prices too for
Okay.
each thing. So that's also helpful. Um But yeah, so they show you what that is. So I would get, so say Amazon sells a copy of my book, I get that 2.43. Um, they would send it to Draft to Digital. Draft to Digital would send it to me. So it's kind of like a little bit of a chain.
Hmm.
Um, but Draft to Digital prints everything. So I don't have to worry about getting a printer. They only do paperback right now. I'm hoping in the future they decide to
Do
branch out and do hardbacks and special editions and stuff. But because they're print on demand, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
So you're not even in KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing, just for Kindle.
Uh,
No, you do
Technically,
everything through Draft to Digital, and they put it on Amazon.
yeah, they put it on Amazon. Yeah, so they put it on Amazon, they put it on Barnes& and Nobles, they put it on Smashwords, on Hoopla,
What about
on
Ingram Spark? How do they fit into this? Because I have a beef with them.
they They do put it on Ingram Spark. You have that option to do it. They will put it up there for you. The only
Uh-huh.
downside is you can't control like your percentages or if you allow returns or anything like that. They have it set at 40% no returns.
Right.
Um, so a lot of bookstores prefer that you have returns available and 30 to 40% off your book, which they hit the 40% mark, but there's no returns.
Right.
Um, so that's the only downside. That doesn't mean that you won't still get picked up by people, but it just means that doing consignment on the side is helpful,
Hmm.
which is something else that I do too, on
Hmm.
top of having worldwide through Draft to Digital.
We should tell people how many books do you have?
18,
Holla.
yes. And I have them ebook and print book
Hmm.
mostly. Draft to Digital offers audiobooks through Apple. Apple
Hmm.
uses the AI voice right now.
Hmm.
Um, but for people who can't afford, like, I know there's witch hunting about AI and stuff.
Yes. Yes,
Oh my
there
God.
is. Jeez.
But for authors who aren't making a lot of money,
Hmm.
it's a good option to still get your books out there
Hmm.
until you're able to afford to pay for someone to do it.
Right.
And so, it's one of those bittersweet things. It's not that
Hmm.
we're trying to exclude people. It's just a matter of affordability because publishing is expensive.
Right.
It's really, really hard. And so if you do audiobook, then they have that option. They have other audiobook options on there too that you can go through and they have trying to remember I don't even remember the company, but they have it on their website to go through and you can I think it's like select voices or something
Hmm.
um that they do audiobooks through too.
Right.
So you have options if you want to do it outside of Apple. Um,
Right.
but yeah, there's just many options for people to keep costs low
Hmm.
because it is really difficult. Um, and for a lot of authors, if you only have the front cover of your book, they
Hmm.
just do a blank back of the cover.
Hmm.
So you can add that in there. It formats for you if you haven't formatted your book.
Hmm.
So if you upload a book, just like a Word document or something, it gives you formatting options, chapter headings, table of contents, stuff that you can add to it
Uh-huh.
to kind of pull it together a little bit more, which is
Right.
what I originally did before learning how to format a book.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it really changes up how publishing is done. And being able to go worldwide has really helped because it's gotten my books out a lot of different places.
Right.
Um, Germany is one country I'm really popular in right now. So a lot of my books sell in Germany. Yeah. I
So
think,
fun.
I think my uncle had something to do with that before he passed because he used to tell people like, my great niece is an author and like go around
Yeah.
his nursing home and his community and telling people and they're always looking for stuff to read. And so a lot of them purchase my books and like I've gotten emails and stuff from them like, hey, I love your book and
Hmm.
things like that. Of course, it's all in German. Huh?
Right.
Yeah, it's all in German. So I'm like, okay, yep,
Translate
I,
it.
I gotta translate this. It's gonna take me a minute. But
Oh my God.
my German's improving a little bit. But
Right.
yeah, so a lot of my books sold in Germany and I've seen a lot of them in New Zealand and Australia. I have a friend who lives in New Zealand, and they recently moved from the States there for her husband's work. And she tells me that, he works in medicine and she does a lot of stuff where she'll go take reading material to the offices that he's working in or volunteering at or
Right.
clinics and stuff. And she's like, yeah, I purchased a couple of your books and I just, leave them in there. Um,
Just drop them off.
because why not? Why not?
Right.
So it's been good to have people in different places kind of helping to market a little bit.
That does sound like a good idea. So if you are an author that's currently in KU and feeling, a little unsure about it, what would you tell them to consider before the leap?
I would tell them, start slow.
Hmm.
Maybe take one book out of KU, put it global, see what happens. Because if you
Hmm.
aren't getting a lot of reads in KU, um, then what's it really doing for you? You're
Right.
cornered into this one section. You can't publish anywhere else. You're not getting any momentum on your books. You're
Hmm.
not really doing anything. You're kind of stagnant.
Right.
So, what do you want to do with your book?
Hmm.
You really have to think like, do I want to have flexibility to share my book everywhere, to have the freedom to do sales and discounts, to consign my book in physical stores? Because that's another big thing people need to look into. Or do I want to just stay with KU and hope and pray somebody will read my book, maybe if they check it out?
Right. And there are a
Because
lot of people that are anti-Amazon.
yeah, right now there is because political drama.
Right.
But yeah, so that's going to even shrink your audience more.
hmm
And so it's like, do you want to only stay in one place?
Right.
Putting all of your eggs into one basket did not work with Vella,
Right.
because that whole thing shut down.
hmm
Amazon has a history of shutting down authors.
hmm
They cancel accounts, they delete things all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard so many stories,
hmm
and then you have the trolls that go on there and are leaving bad reviews just to leave bad reviews.
hmm
And that doesn't happen as often with Barnes and Noble. That doesn't happen as often with Smashwords. I
Right.
mean, occasionally you'll have people that do that, but for the most part, those other places
hmm
will give you honest, more open reviews.
hmm
Whereas Amazon is just like a hot mess. Like, it's just, I mean, it's okay to have your books on Amazon because a lot of people feel comfortable, they're familiar with it.
hmm
But why just stick with Amazon? Like, why would you only do Amazon when you can go everywhere else,
Right.
post everywhere else, share everywhere else,
I
and
guess my
have more
thing is
freedom?
like, what about Book Talk? How much, I wonder what percentage of Book Talk uses KU and how, because when I published my book and I was like nervous and I went on to TikTok and I was like, I don't know what to do. And everybody's like, oh my God, I'll read your book. I was going to send it to them. So I would send them a message and I would, I would say, please let me know if you want an EPUB or if you want it
Mm,
PDF. Also, it's in KU if that works for you. And I can't, so many, probably 70% was like, oh my gosh, it's in KU. I'll just read it there. So
yeah.
do you feel like you miss out? Do you price your
Um,
books lower on Amazon so that those people will read it? How do you manage that?
no, I keep all my prices pretty consistent.
hmm
The only time I really ever lower prices is if I'm doing a sale
hmm
or if I'm doing something like a Stuff Your Kindle event.
Right.
I will make all my other books lower in price around the same
hmm
time because I know if they see one book, they're probably going to see my other books. And so I want to kind of draw them in and be like, hey, this book is on sale. So you get this book free. You can get these for like $1.
Right.
And that's really actually pushed me because I have almost 10,000 in sales right now just from downloads and Stuff Your Kindle events.
Nice.
That doesn't even count anything that I've purchased or consigned or anything. So,
hmm Is it on other platforms? And this probably isn't a KU question, but
mhm,
putting something on sale, like in Amazon, you can only put your book on sale for a certain amount of days, every 90 days or something like that. Is it like that on Barnes and Noble and
no,
things like that? No, you can
you
do.
can set it. And Draft to Digital actually has a calendar where you can set the length of time that you want.
Mhm,
Um, the only thing they don't allow is overlapping promotions.
mhm,
So if I have, say, I put Dolls Kill on a promotion for all of July, but then I want to do a Stuff Your Kindle event from like July 11th to July 15th.
mhm,
So I wouldn't be able to have that sale and the Stuff Your Kindle event. I'd have to do the sale up until the 11th.
mhm.
Then I'd have to break for the 11th through 15th Stuff Your Kindle event, and
Right.
then again start over on the 16th with whatever sale I had going.
Okay.
Um, so that's the only like major downside is you can't just like overlap them. You have to kind of break them up.
Right.
Um, but even then, it kind of makes sense because you don't want to have one price here and another price there and have
Right.
people hunting because I know a lot of readers would be upset if like, oh, I could have gotten it for free here, but
Right.
you had it for 99 cents over here, so I bought it for 99 cents and I could have gotten it free. And yeah,
Right.
it avoids drama. So we like to
Which
avoid
is
the drama.
always good because I feel like in the book world, there's just always drama waiting around the corner.
So
You think
much
everything's
drama.
quiet and smack, you're in the middle of a shitstorm and you didn't even know it. I probably shouldn't say that.
Exactly.
but okay, let's do your shameless plug. I want to know. So where do we find your books? And also, you have another thing that you do that really helps authors. So tell us about both of those things.
Okay, so I teach classes.
Mhm.
It's pretty much anything. I help authors kind of gain confidence, overcome roadblocks.
Mhm.
We talk about publishing, um, pretty much anything that they need, kind of assess the author themselves
Mhm.
and help them figure out what's working, what's not working,
Mhm.
um, and really just kind of push. I'm a pusher. My clients will tell you that. I very
Right.
much like step outside of your comfort zone and do something because you have skills that maybe you didn't know.
Right.
Um, so it's been one of those things where I'm just like, let's keep going. Let's do this. Let's try that. Um,
Right.
you know, and try to just help them overall improve
Mhm.
um, writing and time management, anything,
Mhm.
anything an author could struggle with, we're going to work on it.
I love that. And you have a website.
Yes, www.abbywoodland.com. And you will find all of my publishing stuff there.
Mhm.
So it'll have my books, it'll have my publishing company, it'll have sign up for classes. I will have, I'm starting to do my own Stuff Your Kindle events on there.
Okay.
So authors, if you want to sign up, the form is on my page. Um,
Fabulous.
yes, so we're gonna get that going.
Mhm.
And also a lot of my clients. So anyone I've worked with that I've edited for and published,
Mhm.
their stuff is on there too. So if you're looking for something outside of my genres, you can go on there and you'll find a ton of stuff.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. You're going to see Abby some other videos because she is a lover of sharing information and we love her back for it. So
You.
yes, thank you. Thank you so much, for joining me here today. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.